Hey guys, and welcome back to K-pop FTW. Today's story is crazy, but before we get into it, if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you never miss an update or a new video. Today we have some shocking news coming out of the K-pop world, unfortunately involving one of the members of NCT, WayV and Super M, none other than Lucas. Sit tight because this one is a doozy. A strong buzz about WayV's Lucas has been spreading all over social media. Just a few days ago, several different online netizens stepped forward with allegations detailing their involvement with the K-pop idol, including alleged photos and screenshot evidence. The initial accusatory post by Im on Twitter began circulating, saying I was gaslighted by Lucas. He was a male flower snake, a Korean term referring to women who seduce men to extort money from them, and in other words, a gold digger. The accuser claimed she had to pay for all of their meals, hotels, and even his cigarettes. Im stated, "I'm a fan of NCT and WayV who dated Lucas, and I'll expose him for being a cheapo. At first, Lucas showed his interest in me by asking for my number. So we started dating, but suddenly, he said that he was having a hard time due to his schedule and wanted to break up. So we broke up without any bad blood. But this was the start of all our problems. The day after we broke up, Lucas randomly said that he missed me and that he wanted to stay friends, so I agreed. But every time he had a break, we would meet at hotels or meet at my apartment and I would always be the one paying. Of course, it was the same when we were still dating. What's worse is that he even asked me to buy his cigarettes. And on the days where I wouldn't buy him anything, he would say, 'Why are you not buying? I was sure that you would pay.' He would say that since he's a celebrity, he can't go out and that if he used his card, his manager would find out. Besides, his personality is grumpy, so I had to satisfy all his requirements. Sometimes, he would even send me pictures of hotels he wanted to go to and would look at me and ask me to book them for him. I also bought him a lot of luxury gifts. At first, he used to be thankful, but at some point, he said that he earns good money, so if it's not a house or a car, that I shouldn't give him anything else. He said that there was nobody else aside from me who understood him and started gaslighting me. Every time we went to hotels, he would just eat room service, sleep and leave. As soon as we had to check out, he would cut contact and wouldn't even say thanks. He must think that paying for him was an obvious thing to do. We stayed at the hotel for 4 days, I stayed there first before Lucas came back to the country. We dated and broke up a couple of times for a few years, and although I really liked him, I'm also fed up now. He broke up with me saying that he was too busy, but I've heard hurtful things like 'I hate that you're like a fan' or 'don't do things like an idol fan in the future' so many times that I got depressed for a while. I liked him so much that I've never asked him to take a picture together, take his picture without permission, and I've never shared about this with my friends. He also gaslighted me saying that my family shouldn't find out. Recently, it was still like that when he went to China, so around a month ago, I said that I was too disgusted and that I was gonna sue him, so he immediately left our Cat Talk chat room and changed his number. He acted like a Kotem, TN, kinda like a gold digger, but I'd rather just stayed as a fan. I regret, he's a cheapo." Just a day after the initial expose, Im provided even more updates regarding Lucas's alleged behavior. She posted 3 screenshots along with an updated tweet describing her emotions at the time, stating, quote, "He even cheated here and there. I didn't know that. I began to wonder if I shouldn't have uploaded anything when people started saying it was fabricated. I'm glad I didn't answer his phone calls yesterday. I hope that there will be no more victims." @Im/Twitter. With her tweet, the original Twitter user uploaded 3 photos that provided alleged photo proof of her conversations with Lucas. The first photo shows a timestamp of when Lucas allegedly tried to get into contact with Im after her accusations went live on Twitter. According to the photo, the WayV member tried to get into contact with Im in 3 separate calls before messaging her. Screenshot of alleged message between Lucas and @Im/Twitter. The second photo that Im provided on a recent Twitter update was a back-and-forth conversation between the two, where Im asks, @Im/Twitter. "Was there a time when you had no feelings for me, but you still met up with me? Even though you would come over to stay with me and sleep with me?" And WayV's Lucas responds, "I did like you, this is the truth." Some WayV fans quickly rushed to debunk the evidence, stating that her photos were fabricated. WayV's Lucas, SM Entertainment. The fans found that the voice message was pieced together from previous bubble voice messages Lucas sent to fans. A fan provided the audio of one of the original bubble voice messages. But to make matters even more convoluted, following her accusations, 2 other women stepped forward with their evidence, as they sharing their own experiences similar to that of Atushi. In one of Atushi photos, what seems to be an article referring to Lucas and a potential scandal from back in May is included. A Chinese fan sent him a message about it through their WeChat conversation and provided a link of the article. The date May/6th/21 was the same timestamp as the photo that Atushi shared about her and Lucas's conversation. The timestamp suggests that Lucas was telling Atushi that he did like her, all while talking to the Chinese WeChat fan at the same time. The second woman spoke out about her alleged experience with the idol with similar allegations against him. This time, a Chinese netizen who claimed that Lucas cheated on her while making requests for her to buy him luxury gifts. She stated, "I wasn't going to reveal this, since we broke up on somewhat good terms. This incident didn't actually cause me any harm, mentally or physically, so I was planning on treating him as one of the many passers-by in my life and just forget about him. However, when I saw yesterday's post, I realized that the experience is similar to mine, and the timing also coincided. More and more girls have had the same experience, and I discovered that he actually talked behind a girl's back and made up rumors about her in order to trick another girl. I feel totally betrayed. I don't think this is just a simple relationship issue. I don't know if any other girls will stand up for themselves after me, but I hope that through my experience, everyone is alerted and sees what kind of a person he really is. I hope no one gets manipulated by pickup artists anymore and there won't be more victims." Alleged ex-girlfriend. She presented receipts and photographs of the items that Lucas allegedly requested of her, as well as alleged chat logs she shared with Lucas. She circled the date on the receipt for the Balenciaga windbreaker that corresponded with a chat log where he requested that she buy it for him. Requesting gifts, before coming over to my place, he used the excuse of not bringing enough clothes and asked me to buy him some. He specifically requested particular brands and said he didn't like the brand that he had a business deal with at that time. Alleged ex-girlfriend. The chat logs are as follows. Lucas, haha. Lucas, I really want to go out to play today. Lucas, can you help me with something? Ex-girlfriend, what is it? Lucas, can you help me buy a jacket? You can give it to me tonight. Lucas, can you? Ex-girlfriend, did you not bring clothes over? Lucas, yes. Lucas, haha. Lucas, I didn't bring outerwear. Lucas, but it's okay. Lucas, forget it. Ex-girlfriend, what size do you wear? Lucas, are you helping me buy it? Lucas, YSL or Balenciaga? Lucas, these two. Ex-girlfriend, what size do you wear? Lucas, medium. Lucas, where are you? Ex-girlfriend, where are you? Lucas, I'm at the front door. She then uploaded photographs of Lucas wearing the said jacket. They seemed to be drinking. She also uploaded a photograph of him sleeping. When explaining how they first got to know each other, she said, "At the beginning, I was just a fan. If I liked someone, I would just go to their schedules occasionally. Then, one time, I discovered an account named Lucas's iPhone while searching on AirDrop. I sent an emoji sticker using my name as my ID just for fun. From that day on, we started communicating and added each other on WeChat. At that time, I thought I was the lucky female lead in a drama, but I didn't realize there wasn't only one female lead." Ex-girlfriend. She attached screenshots of the AirDrop and how they added each other on WeChat, a messaging app. The ex-girlfriend also claimed that he had asked to go over to her place. She ended up picking him up from his hotel to her house before sending him back and heading home alone. She stated, quote, "When he found out that my home is around the same place as his schedule, he proactively suggested to come over to my place and told me that he wanted to go somewhere with no one around. He's of the opposite gender and was someone I liked at the time, so I thought there was more to it and asked if he had a girlfriend. He said no. If I knew he had a girlfriend at that time, I would have never let him come to my place and would not have had any of the contacts that I had with him afterward. At that time, I naively thought that love has finally found me, so I picked him up and took him to my place from his hotel after he finished his schedule. I asked him then, 'Your manager doesn't care?' He said his manager was sleeping in another room and wouldn't know that he left." Ex-girlfriend. She attached receipts of the car ride she took to and from the hotel as well as to send Lucas back to the hotel. The first thing he did after coming to my place was smoke, and he asked me to join him. Then we started drinking. He started chatting with me and said his best friend from his trainee days, who hadn't dated yet, is garbage. He complained that his members don't listen to others, don't work hard, and can't be led. He said one certain member stole his fashion-related opportunities. He said some people did not have any real skills but were able to debut solely due to their visuals. He said he didn't like Running Man China because it's tiring and his seniors gave him a lot of stress. He even said he didn't like fans taking photos of him at the airport. He then started telling me that his family was not well off, his dad's investments failed, and needed him to make money to buy a house, car, etc. He complained about the unfairness of society. At the time, I just thought he's a hard-working guy. But after I read the other posts, I realized that he was just trying to set the stage to manipulate me. I was totally shocked and thought that he was totally different from the way he was presented in front of the camera, but because I was blinded by him being an idol, I still thought he seemed real. He emphasized how hard-working he was while telling me that he thought I'd understand him. This gave me the illusion that he was someone that I could open my heart to. He slept over at my place, and I got him a ride to go back before the start of his schedule the next morning. Ex-girlfriend. The ex-girlfriend also accused him of having her on standby while he saw other girls. She said. Later on, I'd ask if he wanted me to go to his schedule. Sometimes, he'd say that it was a waste of time and that studying should be my priority, so I shouldn't go. I thought he was considerate, but now I understand that he had someone else to see. I've been clowned. Sometimes when I did go to his schedule, he'd ask me if I had a place and whether I was by myself. He'd disappear after confirming that I had a roommate with me. Since I couldn't stand the feeling of essentially being on standby, I confronted him about it in December. He used being busy with schedules as an excuse to avoid the situation, and used weird friends as a way to manipulate me so that I wouldn't say anything after his members' scandal broke out. I saw right through them and didn't contact him after that. I'm thankful that I've always been taught to be an independent girl with the ability to form my own opinions. If a girl who's mentally fragile or a girl who needs love encounters such a scumbag, wouldn't she develop mental issues? Finally, she alleged that he had not been honest throughout their time together. While we were in touch, I repeatedly checked whether he had a girlfriend and whether he was in touch with other girls. And his answers were always, no. And he claimed that he had never drank like this with other girls before. I really believed his bullshit and thought he was just a boy who wants love. I never thought that he would take advantage of his status as a celebrity and his fans' love to satisfy his own needs through trickery, flirting with other girls while having a girlfriend, meeting different girls in different cities, and speaking ill of other girls. His actions make me feel bad for myself and other girls. I know the public will forget about these things really quickly. I know a lot of people will judge me for this incident. I also know that I'm basically destroying myself through this. So, I'm not doing this for any other reason. I'm just hoping that those who believed him no matter what, just like I did, can now recognize the truth, and no one else is going to be hurt like I was, no one else is going to face all the pressure like I have. I hope no guy or girl will ever get manipulated in a relationship. In a series of messages, they have the following conversation. Ex-girlfriend, do you have anyone else besides me? Having them on KKT counts as well. Every single social media counts too. Lucas, you're really... What nonsense! Ex-girlfriend, huh? You're changing the subject. I asked first. Lucas, I didn't KKKKK. Ex-girlfriend, what about, anyone you're, dating? Lucas, what nonsense! Lucas, little kid. As expected, your imagination really exceeds mine. Following the first and second alleged victims to speak out against WayV's Lucas, the last alleged victim who has spoken out against him also claimed that Lucas cheated on her with other girls, presumably the other alleged victims. She said, quote, I never thought there would be a day where I would tell the story between me and him in this way. I can guarantee that the following are all true. The purpose of this post is for everyone to see through his on-screen, fan-loving, kind personality. He only sees his fans as his concubines. He gets in touch with girls privately and cheats, taking advantage of his fans' love. He's the first celebrity I liked. I used to be his fan. Before the accusation post surfaced yesterday, I was like a fool and thought that I was special and lucky to have known him in real life, even though he contacted me in secret. In my eyes, he was like the sunshine and had always been kind, optimistic, and positive. He was also my rock and motivation to work hard and become better. I believe a lot of fangirls feel the same way as me. After finding out the truth yesterday, I couldn't sleep at all. It turns out that he and I are just a terrible story of a scumbag cheating. In the summer of 2019, I started supporting a celebrity for the first time, bought albums, went to fan signs, and attended every concert. Before his Beijing fan signing on December 2, 2019, I kept rehearsing with my friend on what I should say and ask. I even repeatedly edited and rewrote my letter to him. When my friends kept telling me to write down my Instagram and WayV ID and said maybe he'd go visit the accounts, I even thought it was not possible because in my mind, he was someone high up on a pedestal, not something that I could get close to. But unexpectedly, in the early hours of December 3rd, right after the fan sign, I received private messages on my Instagram and WayV account from his secret account. She attached screenshots of his supposed private Instagram and how he asked for her WeChat. Their conversation went as follows. Alleged victim: is this you? Lucas: yes. Are you about to sleep? Alleged victim: how could I fall asleep? Lucas: ha ha. Alleged victim: my heart is going to pound out of my chest now. Lucas: where are you now? Are you alone? Alleged victim: I might be sleepless. Lucas: can you give me your WeChat? She followed with a screenshot of Lucas allegedly sending her a WeChat request. The WeChat ID is the same as the one in the other accusations. The posts uploaded to the WeChat account consist of WayV's comeback song, Takeoff, personal photos of Lucas, and more. I was pleasantly surprised and couldn't think straight, but at the same time I felt a sense of loss because I only liked him as fan and idol, and I knew that secretly contacting fans is not something an idol should do as a professional. So I hesitated a little bit, but honestly, girls tend to be blind and confident when they're in front of something they like, especially when a scene from a drama is happening to them. The temptation of a fantasy becoming real easily wins against any sort of logic. After he asked me to meet him at a hotel, the idol image I had of him shattered, but at the same time, a real person came out from the cracks. I couldn't believe that I could touch my idol, let alone chat with him all night and hug him, so I didn't expect that this was just a trap hidden by pretty roses. She further attached screenshots of their conversation and claimed that apart from these two screenshots, he had asked her to delete the rest of the conversation before they met. Lucas: shall we have a call? To confirm that I'm real. Do you want to? Alleged victim: I can't call. My younger sister is sleeping next to me. I'd have to go out to call. Are you sure you want to? Lucas: it's okay. It's important to keep your family company. Caption: he asked me if I was going to Japan as well the next day. Alleged victim: do you want me to go? Lucas: yes. Alleged victim: if you say that, I might just really immediately buy tickets. Lucas: I'm just saying it only, it's okay. Actually, how about, if you want to, you can come to the hotel now to look for me. The alleged victim explained that she did indeed go to look for him at his hotel. After I arrived at the hotel around 3 a.m. that day, I saw him and thought I was dreaming. I was very nervous at first, because this is my first time supporting a celebrity and I even got to see him in real life. I stood by the bed and didn't know what to do. He looked around the room to see if there was any alcohol and naturally lay down to chat with me after seeing that there weren't any. He told me that he got a lot of letters at the fan sign, but he only opened mine because he had already noticed me during previous events. He always kept my gifts with him. I told him that this is my first time experiencing something like this, so I don't know what to do. He responded saying it was also his first time. I believed it. Then, we chatted a lot about the stress he was having and other stuff. I asked him if he had secretly contacted other fans before. He thought about it and said there was only one, also from China, but he thought the other person wasn't good looking, so they only had a meal together and chatted. He really liked chatting with his fans like this, because he can then understand what his fans are thinking, but he didn't keep in contact with that person. I can only say that I was heavily blinded and believed this too. After chatting for a while, I asked him if he wanted to rest first since he had to fly to Japan. He said he wasn't planning on sleeping since the members will wake up soon, and they will go to the airport after packing up their things. Then, as our emotions ran high, we did everything other than having sexual relations. Before leaving, he told me not to tell anyone, including my best friends and family, and told me to delete all the chat logs. Then he suggested that we could always keep in touch through WeChat or Meetup, but I shouldn't go to the airport. I thought he had safety concerns about the airport, but he said every time he's at the airport, he's tired and don't want to pretend to care. He never pays attention to fans, their looks, who show up at the airport, so there's no need for me to go. After that, I basically fell deeply in love. After all, liking someone can make one go blind, especially when the person who confessed his love to you is someone that you've liked for a long time but you didn't think anything would be possible. You would start believing in those scenes from dramas. A miracle has happened to a fangirl. You're the luckiest girl in the world. He said it's destiny. I believed it. He said I was the only one who he could never forget. I believe that too. I have a special place in his world. I firmly believe that we were bounded together. But now, after getting in touch with other girls who were secretly messaged by him, I've come to realize that we have FCK all. Alleged victim. She shared a log of other messages between them. Alleged victim, don't look at other pretty fans. Because you already have the cute me. Lucas, I won't. I'm not the kind of person you imagine me to be. Really, I'm not. Alleged victim, I know. Alleged victim, my heart hurts for you, you haven't been able to rest well. I want to keep you company. Lucas, I saw it. Alleged victim, saw what? Lucas, so cute. Your Instagram. She claimed that he told her about his alleged ex-girlfriend during his trainee days and used that as an excuse to not be in a relationship with her. Then, at the Bangkok fan meeting, we couldn't meet up and I was very sad. After I told him, he talked to me on the phone for a long time that night. We chatted about a lot of things, including his pre-debut love story. At that time, he really loved his girlfriend who was also a trainee, but for reasons unknown, his girlfriend was kicked out by the agency. Meanwhile he made his debut and started to get busy, so his girlfriend got depression, always argued with him, and wanted to attempt suicide. He felt like he couldn't take care of her, so he broke up with her and had no plans to be in a relationship afterwards. So, although he liked me, he didn't have the ability to be in a relationship. When I heard this, I was very understanding and accepted this excuse, and thought maybe his love for me is just him acting on impulse. Now that I'm looking at the timeline, it wasn't that he didn't have the ability to be in a relationship, but that he didn't have the energy to sweet talk to so many girls. Someone should give him tips on time management. Alleged victim. The alleged victim also claimed that he had been growing distant due to him having been talking to other girls. The second time I met up with him was at the Skechers event in Shenyang. In the early hours of December 21, 2019, I was preparing to see him at the event, but I had a slight fever so I stayed at the hotel and didn't attend. This was when I found out through a friend that another Chinese fan communicated with him in secret. He met up with me after the event, in the evening. Alleged victim. Lucas, the hotel seems to have many fans. Alleged victim, if you swipe your hotel card you can go straight to the 22nd floor. Lucas, I guess. Alleged victim, then you can come later I guess. Lucas, I only just woke up now. Alleged victim, yeah, go grab a bite first. Lucas, okay. Or should I go find you now? Never mind, let's stick to later. Alleged victim, yeah later. Lucas, should I take a shower? Lucas, which room? Alleged victim, 2202. Lucas, but you have a fever. Is it okay? Alleged victim, it doesn't matter, I'm a lot better. It might just be a little aching. Lucas, okay. Lucas, but I won't be there soon either. I'll tell you when I'm coming up. Alleged victim, okay. Lucas, I'm going up now. Open the door. Alleged victim, okay. According to her, he had manipulated her into feeling sorry for him as he talked about his fears of being found out by his agency. And it was also this time when we had sex without any protection. I asked him if he wanted to wear a condom, but he said it's fine. Maybe because he didn't do well enough. He told me afterwards that he hadn't had sex in almost a year. I believed it again. I never thought he'd be with another girl that same night after returning to Seoul even in that condition. After we had sexual relations, I asked him about him secretly messaging another fan. He admitted to it and said that it's the same Chinese fan that he mentioned before. They had a meal together and had a thankful hug before leaving, but didn't do anything else. He even showed me his WeChat chat logs with this girl. I saw a very friendly message sent to him by this girl and could see that she really liked him, but his responses were not very sincere. At the time, I thought him showing me the chat logs was bad, but I liked him. So I took it as him trying to show me that he's innocent and that it was the girl who wouldn't let go. He was very afraid that the girl would tell everyone about it. I asked him if he's afraid of losing fans, and he said he didn't care about fans leaving him, but he's afraid his agency would see it. I told him to pretend to get a new WeChat account and just don't stay in touch with her. He told me he's really scared, and he was smoking non-stop. He almost smoked a whole pack within 2 hours. So I kept comforting him. Thinking back now, I was being tricked into siding with the bad guy. Then he told me he had a lot of schedules for the new year, and that he'd become more and more popular, so we might not be able to meet anymore. Thinking about it now, he was probably giving me a warning. Then I joked that it's okay, I'll just support a different male celebrity from Hong Kong. To make it worse, I said I really liked this male celebrity even before I started attending events. He said to me, "It's okay. His girlfriend is my friend." We filmed a show together and went to get our ears professionally cleaned. Then we started talking about celebrities from his agency. He said although he really liked going out to party as a trainee, he thought artists like Chris Wu are idiots. He thought they just do things for fun and never actually trained for real. Although I agree with him, but pot meet kettle, you're not very good at what you're doing either. He's called Boy Toothpick, so you should be called Wong Needle. When he talked about how he's not fit for working out too much, because his head is really small and that it'd make him look like a buff Barbie, he mentioned appearing on a military show in Korea. He thought it was really tiring, so he faked having lower back pains to get off of the show early. Are you worth having the fans being worried over you? He even complained about a Chinese variety show doing malicious editing to turn him into a fool and how he really hated it, so he hesitated about joining the next season. Also, I gave him a ring and he always had it with him. So I asked him if he can give me something that I can carry around with me. He said no, he never does that. He told me when there's filming, he has to take off the couple ring and that I shouldn't think too much of it. I said then I'll give you a lot of rings so you can alternate. He said okay. Besides that, he seems to have a little kid in him, at least that's what I thought at the time. He told me he believes that he'll be able to travel to the moon once in his life. I asked him if he can take me, he smirked and said he'd think about it. I said if I earned enough money and bought a ticket first then would he come with me? He said okay. In conclusion, he can't give anything to me but I can give everything to him. Alleged victim. The fan continued to express that she was disappointed to find out he was in contact with other fans as well. After that, we continued to chat, and I still attended every concert, both in China and outside of China. Generally, he was always able to find where I was sitting and secretly greet me, but thinking about it now, maybe that was all just me being delusional. For the concert in Seoul, I only found out now that there were at least 3 fans who he had secretly contacted, including me. I wanted to ask him, that day, when you looked so tired and left quickly, is it because there were too many people you had to greet sitting in the audience? When he went on tour in February 2020, he told me he just wants to be friends with me. I discovered later on that this is a line that he always used. We didn't have a lot of contact and didn't meet up until this year. But the funny thing is, we just bumped into each other by coincidence at an entertainment venue. Maybe it's just like he said, there's some weird destiny between us. Alleged victim. The alleged victim attached screenshots of her conversation with Lucas after he had been spotted out with Luhan, previously of EXO. She dropped him a message when they had been spotted near the end of April, and he replied in early May. This was after she had agreed to just be friends with him. Caption of news: netizens find out the man who went to a bar with Luhan is Huang Zuxi, Lucas' Chinese name. Alleged victim: I told you to be careful. Lucas, ha ha ha. Long time no see. Alright, I got it. Alleged victim: did you come out to play? Are you at underscore? With underscore? Lucas, ha ha, how did you know? She added some screenshots of activity from his private Weibo account. As a bonus, here's what he's been voting for with his secret Weibo account. Alleged victim. The accounts show that he has been voting in various polls that involve his name, such as for handsome Hong Kong celebrities and more. She also analyzed his alleged cheating by comparing her timeline with that of the other accuser from the day before. Regarding my timeline overlapping with the girl that accused him yesterday, Ushim on Twitter. Spreadsheet screenshot from the girl's post. The sequence of events is that the girl left on December 2nd, he met up with me in the evening that day. Then, after meeting up with me in the early hours of December 21st, he went to a hotel with her in the evening that day. Screenshots of her paying for fan signs. I went to 2 fan signs, on December 1st and 2nd. He sent me private messages afterwards. Screenshots of flight and hotel records for Shenyang. I can't even imagine how good he is mentally to be able to switch between 2 girls, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Is he really tired normally, or is he not working hard enough? Alleged victim. Lastly, she explained her point of view and expressed her disappointment in him. If no one accused him yesterday, I would have still believed him. But when the truth was revealed, the trust that I had became ironic and laughable. Throughout these 2 years, regardless of whether I was in touch with him or just paying attention to him from afar, I worked hard to make myself better in order to be closer to him, to be a better match for him. When I had setbacks, and when I was close to being depressed, my anticipation and love for him turned into energy that supported me. But when the truth was right in front of me, my tears have finally washed away the blindness that I had. I thought he was a belief, but now I understand, perhaps he can even be considered a human being. I remember he told me his mother taught him to protect and be kind to girls, so he would treat all girls sincerely. But through his actions, he's taken the sincerity of the girls and stepped on it. Have you noticed? Scumbags have something in common, they all say they like kind girls, because they always treat girls' kindness as dumbness. That way, it is easy to brainwash and control the girls, and easy for them to sleep with other fans, cheat, and trick the girls. Everyone should have accountability and be ethical. Cheating and tricking others is not right, especially when the end goal for idols is to encourage everyone to have a positive influence on this world and spread love. Taking advantage of girls' love for you in order to trick them, you're not worth the love. I didn't expect my first experience of supporting a celebrity would end in such a disaster. Do I regret it? I regret having liked such a person so sincerely and passionately. But what I don't regret is, I got to know a lot of kind and cute girls during the process. They shine like pearls. I don't regret having worked hard to become a better self, so that I didn't feel too horrible pulling myself out of this relationship. I'll never support a celebrity again. I'll be well and be kind to others. Lastly, I hope everyone who's reading this will be happy, and hope that no one will let you down. Peace. I know a lot of people will accuse me of having photoshopped the images, that I don't have real evidence, that I'm making this up. But I want to say that no ordinary girl would be prepared to record audio or film with a hidden camera when she's sincerely dating someone. I can only say that the trust I gave him turned into a knife that he's used to stab me. I take responsibility for every word I said above. Everything is true. Alleged victim. Edit, SM Entertainment has just released an official statement. They have announced that the release of Lucas' upcoming single with bandmate Hindari has been halted along with Lucas' scheduled activities while Lucas is reflecting on his misdoings. The statement is as follows. Hello. This is SM Entertainment. We apologize for worrying everyone with regards to the personal matter of our company's artist, Lucas. He has recognized the seriousness of the matter and decided to halt the release of all contents including the planned upcoming single, Jalapeno, as part of the WayV unit with Hindari, that was supposed to be launched at 6 p.m. on August 25th. Lucas is deeply reflecting on having caused great hurt and disappointment through his own wrong actions, and our company also takes responsibility for not having managed our artists better. Once more, we apologize deeply for having concerned many people as well as the fans over Lucas' personal matters. SM Entertainment. Lucas had been embroiled in a series of gaslighting and cheating accusations from fans that had claimed to have dated him. Lucas' largest Chinese fans it has also since closed. What do you guys make of this alarming situation? Does this spell the end of Lucas's career? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get the discussion started.